Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Kim, and today, in honor of Halloween, we are making some stuffed pumpkins with a sage and bulgur fall-inspired filling and a creamy mushroom sauce to pour on top of it. Let's get started. For today's dish, I've found these beautiful small pumpkins, and these are great because you can serve them individually in each plate. And of course, you can also get a big pumpkin and make a lot of filling, place it inside, and put it at the center of the table, family style, and everyone can serve themselves. But it's so cute to have your little own individual pumpkin. The first step in this recipe is to pop these babies in the oven, but we need to prepare them a little first. To prepare your pumpkins, slice off the top, but you want to have that little cap when you serve them. So do it carefully, and I like using a serrated knife for this. Just go down, and we're gonna remove those seeds and the filling. So this is what it should look like once you've removed all of those seeds. We're still gonna use a lot of that pumpkin flesh, but we're gonna roast it first so that it's easy to scoop it out. So you're gonna repeat this with your remaining pumpkins. Once you've assembled all of your beautiful pumpkins, we're gonna pop this in a 400-degree oven, and we're going to roast them until they are tender, so just until you can really easily prick it with a fork or a skewer. Now, I like to protect that beautiful orange color in the outside, so I like to start by wrapping them in a little foil because that's going to be a hot oven. So you just want to loosely kind of protect it a little bit. And then towards the end of the cooking, once you see that these are tender, you can remove it and just let it get a little bit brown. But we like to maintain that beautiful orange color. While your pumpkins are in the oven, we're gonna get some other components ready. So we're going to cook our bulgur wheat, and we're also going to get started on that beautiful sauce. Remember that when cooking grains, the important thing is that proportion between the grain and the water, or whatever liquid you're using. You can also use veggie broth if you want it really flavorful. So the first step is to bring that water to a boil. Add it to a pot, and you can cover so that it comes to a boil a little bit faster. Once your water is boiling, you're gonna add some sea salt and whatever seasoning you might like to add. And you don't even need to add anything besides sea salt. We're adding a little garlic powder as well today. And we are going to add our bulgur wheat. Now, the beauty of bulgur wheat or couscous, they both use the same technique, is that with the heat alone, they're gonna cook. So you can actually turn off the heat. First, we're gonna let it come back up to a boil. We're gonna cover it, turn off the heat, and in 15 to 20 minutes, it will be absolutely ready with no water in that pot. So it really just needs to stand there in that steaming heat. To get our creamy mushroom sauce started, we're gonna melt some butter on low heat. And we're gonna sweat our chopped onions. Now, we sweat at a low heat so that these really can kind of extract a lot of flavor. It gets combined with that beautiful butter, and it will be delicious. So you really want it at low, and it's gonna take a while to get nice and translucent, but it'll get there. Remember, whenever we are sweating or sauteing onions, we always wanna add a little sea salt to help release the juices. Once these are starting to get nice and golden and they're nice and translucent, we're gonna add a little bit of garlic. And remember, we just cook garlic until fragrant. We wanna be very careful never to burn garlic. It can really alter the color and the flavor of the dish. We're gonna add some flour. This is gonna be our thickener, but we really want to cook out that starchy flavor. So let's saute, stir, and let it cook for 1 minute. Now we're gonna deglaze with a little bit of red wine. And we're gonna let that cook down. We're gonna let that wine completely reduce. And then we're adding our mushrooms. Here we're not looking to saute the mushrooms. These are gonna cook down in the broth. So we're gonna go ahead and add that, some vegetable broth. And we're gonna let this cook down and get reduced and get thick. That flour is gonna help thicken our beautiful sauce. Once your sauce is nice and thick and it has this beautiful brown color, you can turn off the heat and set it aside. We need to, of course, season with some sea salt and pepper, and you want to taste and adjust. Our timer for our bulgur wheat has gone off, so let's take a peek and see if all of that water has been evaporated. So what you want to do is fluff it with a fork. Now, if any water remains at this point, you have two options. You can drain it, but I don't like that option too much. I like to kind of dry it off in the pan. So just cover it again, turn on the heat on low to medium just for a couple of minutes, and you'll see that that water dries out and it's ready. We've taken our pumpkins out of the oven. These were in there for about 45 minutes and they're absolutely tender, but I want to show you how tender you want them to be. So just take a skewer, and if you can go straight through, that means they're ready. We're gonna scoop out that inside flesh and give it a chop. Bring a pan to the stove and heat it at medium-high heat, and we're gonna add some butter. And we are gonna immediately add some sage leaves. We wanna fry these up. Once you've fried them up a little bit, we're gonna add some chopped pecans. We're gonna toast them in with that butter. Once your pecans have toasted a little bit, let's add some raisins, or you can use dried cranberries, and toss. We're also going to add some of that chopped pumpkin. Let's season with some sea salt and pepper. Remember, we want to season in stages. That way all of the components are really well seasoned. And next we're gonna add in our bulgur wheat and toss. You of course always want to taste and adjust the seasoning. Let's see how this is coming along. So good. I'm gonna add a touch more salt and pepper. All you have to do now is stuff your pumpkins with some of that filling, and of course serve it with a side of some piping hot mushroom sauce. This is the perfect recipe for the fall when pumpkins are everywhere, and especially if you're having a little Halloween or Thanksgiving feast at your house. Thank you so much for cooking with me today. I'll see you again really soon at brownbowl.com.